everybody. Assalamu alaikum. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the notify button so you'll know when you're getting new episodes. And we just want to grow this project. I thank you in advance. Without further ado, let's get it rolling. The ShOUT Show. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everybody. This is me, your host, Preacher Mars, the host of the SOS, the ShOUT Show. This is I'm trying to figure out which one it is, but this is a Friday Funnies edition. I know people going, yo, Preach, it's Friday's Funny edition. There's a lot of things going on. Yes, I watch the news just like everybody else, but I also believe at some point in time, with everything that's going on in the world, you gotta have some levity in your heart. You gotta be able to laugh a little bit. Like, I am a very serious person in a lot of regards. I mean, comedy is what I do. It's not necessarily who I am. But, comedy helps me boast of the fact that I'm a thinker. As a comedian, I'm a critical thinker. And I love that job, man. But, what's been happening lately, man, and that could be wrong in some regards. But, people have gotten away from that whole scope of how we laugh. Like, I'm a big laugher about things that would be normally considered inappropriate. And when I say inappropriate, I'm not saying mean spirit or anything like that. I'm saying, sometimes you got to have a laugh at what's going on in front of you. Just when we were kids, remember you were kids, how funny it was when another kid hurt himself? I remember playing football one time and I threw a pass to my brother Rick and he leaned out to catch it. And before he catch it, he ran into a Cadillac. Now, you guys know the rules when kids hurt themselves. As long as they weren't dead and you asked if they were all right, whether they were concussed or not, as long as they weren't dead, you had the opportunity to laugh. And why am I saying that? Because even now, at my advanced tender age of 53, I could be talking to Rick and I'll go, you know what? You remember that pass I threw you when you were 12? Because it's so fresh in your mind. And I'm saying it's fresh in your mind because there were things going on when we were kids back in the 60s, 70s, 80s. We were kids, but you know what? There was a space that allowed for us to still have a smile. And that's why I love Friday Funnies, because I have to remind myself sometimes, because we deal with a lot of different subject matter. I've had people hit me up, go, hey, Preach, I thought you were very funny. You dealt with some serious topics. I'm like, yo, brother, I'm a serious dude. I don't laugh all the time. For brothers and sisters, I'm just gonna wake up like, no, I don't. I work on things around my life that bring me pleasure, bring me joy, and I deal with people around my life that bring me pleasure and bring me joy, and that allows me to have fun and be content with where I am. So that's one aspect. Shout out on the Friday Fun. Here we go. My partner in crime, Sister Turner Whitfield, and she's got the boss, the original boss, Mama Whitfield. Thank you so much. I'm talking Friday Funnies, brothers and sisters, and this might be a little off the mark, but some things just make me laugh. Like, I personally have been waiting for us to just get back to being crazy stupid, not crazy hurtful, crazy people losing their jobs, crazy people. I'm just crazy stupid. When you go, yo, that's stupid. You know how long it's been since I've been able to sit with a straight face and look at something and go, yo, that was stupid. And I had one of those moments today. I was driving home. Traffic was backed up. I'm like, what is going on? Traffic should not be backed up. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to show you that Allah has a sense of humor. I say Allah made me funny. Allah made funny, period. Traffic is backed up. Like, it is backed up on this 2-lane road. It shouldn't be this way because it's early in the morning. When we finally moved past the reason it was backed up, It made my day. Brothers and sisters, there was a truck. I won't say the nationality of the person driving the truck. He was Latino. But he had a truck and he was pulling another truck. Now we've seen this all before. You know what I'm saying? We've seen this before with people towing the truck. However, brothers and sisters, this was totally different because evidently the link had broken between the two trucks, and that was the problem. So he had one car that was driving, another car that was being pulled or towed, if you will. As I approached the cars, I looked because I'm like, I'm nosy. You know how it is. Like when it's a real accident and you see ambulance, and you're hoping, somebody better have been seriously hurt for me to be delayed, because that's the way we think. We're crazy. Brothers and sisters, I am pulling up to this car and I see that it's two cars. I see okay, here's the deal. I'm like, maybe the chain broke. There was no chain. I'm like, maybe the burlap, the thingy. Brothers and sisters, I looked close at what it was. And I'm here to say, I had to laugh because my brother was not towing the truck with a chain or those straps. This fool had somehow rigged this thing up, and he was pulling one truck. He was pulling another truck with the rope, two ropes that, how you ever have a bathrobe? It was like three of those ropes tied. I was like, I'll be doggone. My man has bathrobe ropes trying to pull. Now, as mad as I wanted to be because he held up traffic, I had to laugh because I'm like, you know what? At that point in time, I felt it rising up out of me, the old grumpy black man, and I wanted to be angry. But when I saw that, folks, that somewhere, someplace, somebody, several people are missing the rope that goes around their bathrobe because my Latino brother is trying to tow trucks. People, you can't make that stuff up. You can't make that stuff up. And for me, that was hilarious because it got away from, a point of view, Black Lives Matter. It was stupid, but it was funny. You see what I'm saying? It's like you miss those things. Even our kids today, they're not as funny as they used to be. They're not as funny as they used to be. My first year teaching, I had a kid. He was a good kid, but he's aggressive, and I tried to introduce myself to him, and I said, "Hey, how you doing? My name is Mr. Moss," and he said, "I'm gonna kill you." Now, I wouldn't take it seriously because I was going to lunch, but here's a guy, he's a young man, he's maybe like all of 10, 11. "I'm gonna kill you." I said, "How are you gonna kill me?" He said, "I'm gonna shoot you." I said, "What kind of gun you gonna get?" I said, "I tell you what, if you can spell it, I'll get it for you." I knew basically from looking at his academic record, the most he's gonna get was a BB gun. My point is, and I'm gonna get you, got your idiot boy. All right, there you go. Thank you for coming on the show. Give you a shout out. Where are we missing that fun? You know what I'm saying? That fun. Like, this is how you know you're from another era. A young man, and I say man, I mean a grown man, not a young man, he's a grown man, called me up. He was very, very giddy and excited about a purchase he had made. And I'm like, okay, brother, what is it? This boy showed me a pair of Air Maxes, Nike Air Maxes. Brothers and sisters, I said they look nice. That's what you're supposed to do when you don't really know anything about shoes. You go, they look nice. Like if somebody buys a really nice car, you say, hey, you know what? It look nice. Okay, brothers and sisters, he said, you don't recognize what kind of shoes they are? I'm like, hell no. I got on shoes. Here's my idea. Here's a good pair of shoes. If I have a pair of shoes that I can lace up, and when I walk through the water and come home, my feet are dry. That's a good pair of shoes. Okay. So he kept going on and on about these shoes. Now I'm like old school. I'm like, there's not a whole lot you can do with shoes. Let me give a shout out. Sister Man, get your back better, sister. Get your back better. This is what lets you know you grew up in another period. Now, Mama Whitfield, you're probably going, don't hit your daughter. Don't hit your daughter. Okay? This boy bought a pair of Air Max shoes. First of all, they were like light green and white. Now I'm like, brother, we men up in this joint. You know, they light green and white. He paid $5 short of $4,000 for these shoes. That is $2,000 a shoe before taxes. And I was so shocked, brothers and sisters, at the amount of the shoe. I start asking questions, hoping to justify the purchase. He said these shoes cost $3,995 before tax. I said, okay, $4,000. I start into my whole rhyme like, hey man, well, you know, what do the shoes do? See, that's how old you are. I said, what exactly do the shoes do aside from wearing them? Because I'm thinking, you know, maybe the shoes have a chip, or maybe the shoe could drive Uber. I'm thinking maybe the shoes could come up with a vaccine for COVID. I'm thinking every possibility to justify $4,000 worth of shoes. And I'm just saying, it was one shoe. One shoe. Okay. Pray for E. Norman Stitz. We'll make dua for E. Norman Stitz. Let me know what's going on. Hit us up at permissiblelaughter@gmail.com. I'm going to get that for you. Hold on a moment. I'm going to put it on the ticker. If you have any duas that you need to be made, brothers and sisters, send it there, and Sister Sultana will get it for me, and I will make sure that I will make appropriate dua. Because I think we need to do that sometimes. We need to do that. Let me see. Curb 55. That's more than my lifetime spent. Yes, the shoes were $4,000. You can go to eBay to look at them. And I know that's all you're going to do is look at them, because I can't find the logic for $4,000 worth of shoes. And you can't even hide it in your face. Here's the face I look. Here's the face I did it. And that's like, because I started thinking, how could these shoes be $4,000? My mind went to different places. I said, maybe it's $2,000 worth of heroin in the shoes. These El Chapo shoes. Maybe got some El Chapo heroin shoes. Because that's the only way I could see the shoes being worth that much. And I really, really started thinking about how we grew up, how we were able to remember when you were kids? Now, Sultana, you're going to remember this. I think a bunch of y'all going to remember this. You remember when you were children, how you just couldn't jump into a conversation of adults? Remember that? Remember that? Like you just couldn't start talking. Like for me, when I thought about it earlier today, I realized that I didn't start talking without permission around adults until I was maybe 14. Exactly, Curb. You just sat or stood there. Yes, you were a prop. You might hold something for the adults, but that was it. You might go get them a drink and walk away. That was it. Because I saw a child jump in the conversation with two adults, and two emotions hit me. Number one, somebody need to sock this child. And number two, I felt like I had been cheated. Like he's not following the program. You see what I'm saying? Like he's not following the program. He kept interrupting the adults. And at some point in time, I just couldn't take it. I was like, hey, you need to stop. I know this is not my child, but you need to stop, because I'm like, you are setting a bad precedent for all the other kids walking around looking at the situation. And I think that's the thing too, man. I miss the fact, remember, I did something real stupid one time. Hanging out with some neighborhood brothers. We stole some fruit. All right, like we stole some fruit, and we shouldn't have done it. But here's the deal: we shouldn't have done it. But here's the reason why you shouldn't have done it. It's not that your parents were going to discipline you. I grew up in a time where the neighborhood would discipline you. So the guy you stole it from, you might get a workup from him. And then when they brought you home to your grandparents, you get one. If grandma was home, you got one. Grandpa was home, then you went home. Then your mother would give you one. And if your dad worked a different shift, you had to wake up and get the last one. Remember that? And here's another thing. What happened to the mama looks? Remember the look that mamas could have? They didn't have to speak. Like the looks mama would have, that whatever you were doing, you would stop. What happened to the mama look? Remember this? Here's my mother. Okay, like my salon for 2 hours. This is Ika, all the way from Indonesia. Okay, the gauntlet. Here's the look my mother had one time, and it was so cold-blooded. She would look at you, and she would mouth something that made no sense, and then you would sit there in terror trying to figure out what it was. Like one time I did something, my mom went down this. She did one of these numbers right here. Right? Ready? I'm gonna bring it in the screen. Ready? She looked around like this. And then she just turned around. She scared all the kids on the pew in church. She just did this number right here. See, that's mama control. You know, they needed that back in the day. Instead of having security guards at the bank, they just needed some black moms that knew how to, somebody walk in and go, "Hey, this is stick up." She just turn around and go. We need that too. You know what I miss also? I miss fathers who put together stuff wrong because they didn't look at directions. See how love that is? How many of y'all had that? Your father, Christmas time, put all the toys together. You knew they were going to be wrong because you'd be drinking. So now he's drinking. And you would say something like, "Hey, Daddy, here the instructions." He goes, "I don't even know that going instructions." See what I'm saying? I don't even know doggone instructions. People, I'm going to tell you something. It's hereditary. I ruined a car trying to change the thermostat, and literally don't ever do this. I tried to fix my car utilizing YouTube. The repair was supposed to take 10 minutes. I did everything they said, and then in the middle of the YouTube video, it like cut out like 3 minutes, and the guy came back and goes, "And that's the way you do it." And I'm like, "Oh." All right, we got Brother Muhammad. Where you coming from, Brother Muhammad? Where you rolling from? I'm trying to figure out the flag. I think that's Palestinian flag. I could be wrong. There you go. Oh, there you go. It's just Santiago saying, "Hey, there you go. It's universal." But I practiced that look one time to a young man who was trying to talk to that's what he was basically trying to talk to my older cousin, and I did that look, but I accented it because I cleared my throat like this. I saw him looking at my cousin trying to talk to him. I said, and brothers, that worked. And as a result, my cousin is damn near 60. She still ain't married. You see how effective that is? You see how effective that is? And I'm going to tell y'all, everybody, thank you, Brother Muhammad. I figured it was Palestine. I have to look at the colors too. I just didn't want to be all up in the screen like, what color is that? I think that we should have a day for next Friday. I think we should have a day. We just have people come on and you tell us some of your favorite funnies on Friday. Satana, write this down. You tell us some of your favorite funnies on Friday. Let's see, Brother Muhammad, you still doing stand-up? Yeah, I stand up, but I sit down too. No, I'm still performing. I'm just doing it online. That's scary too. Comedy doing it online is weird, folks. I don't care what anybody say. The only, and the funny part is, comedy, when you're doing it online, I almost feel like I got locked up at the county jail, and I'm trying to. I'm getting processed, and the judge is on the TV, and you're just like, "Yes, Your Honor. No, Your Honor." That's what it feels like. And the funny part is, comedy is such a relationship practice, such a relationship game. You know, if you ever look at like the televangelists, they always have to have people in the audience. They've had to of course reduce their audiences as of late due to COVID, but it's not the same vibe, man. It's not the people, it's not the flavor, it's not the warmth. I don't know when stand up is going to come back, but here's the thing that I definitely appreciate. It doesn't have to come back. They're talking about no live shows till fall 2021. It doesn't mean that we can't express ourselves. It just means that we're not able to put it in an exact format where we're comfortable. And it's all about being comfortable, man. It's all about being comfortable. You ever have people come to your house and get comfortable in your house? And I mean comfortable, like I had somebody who came to my house for the first time about a year ago. Brother came in and I said, "Hey brother, make yourself comfortable." First time I ever come to my house, I said, I said, "I have to pray. I'll be right back." I came back. He was in my kitchen, making peanut butter sandwiches and about to drink one of my Snapples. Like, I'm like, brother, I ain't mean it like that. I'm talking about people getting comfortable. I mean, dude, when does that happen, man? And I have to laugh because you know what? We miss that. Like we miss that. Like when you ever go out to eat or something like that, one of the biggest arguments you're gonna have is what? When somebody gets in your food. And when we say, "Hey man, make yourself comfortable," I realize that I now have to revise. I have to revise that saying for some people. I said, "I want you to make yourself comfortable to the point I'm comfortable with you being that comfortable." I think that's what you have to say. Don't ask me to repeat that because I really can't remember it. I want you to be comfortable to the point I'm comfortable with you being comfortable. That is a lot to say, but I think it has its merits, man. I think it has its merits. And we need to go ahead and do this. Let me see, brother. I worked as a lecturer here, feeling energized, and I actually impress myself sometimes. Well, it's meant to be impressed sometimes. It's meant to be impressed, bro. And speaking of funnies, man, speaking of funnies, I realized something, man. I realize how we love our children, how we want our children to be successful. Like like real OG parents will never admit that their child is not working out in life. Like they won't say that you're working out in life. I saw a black mom say this one time. His son had done a lot of bad things. He never got it together, but she never talked bad about him. He gone to jail. He's robbing people. He wasn't a good dude, but you never heard it from her. You know what he said when somebody talked about him? She said, "Yep, that's true, that's true." And she looked at him and said, "Guess what though? With God and Jesus, he gonna grow out of it." Black people are the only people that say he gonna grow out of something. It doesn't matter what it is. I've seen people being sentenced and they ask for mercy, the mercy of the court. Read all the charges, and the judge will say, "You did this, you did this," and the mom will come up with, "Yes, Your Honor, he did those things." But don't worry though, he did those things. But you know what though? He gonna grow out of it. Who who does that? He's gonna grow out of it. But I'm gonna try it. I say because I think sometimes we need to say that about one another. Maybe you're not so judgmental. Maybe the idea of he'll grow out of it is just funny enough for us to do what? Forgive somebody. Like in Muslim community, I saw this one time. This is funny. It might not be funny, but it's real. A young Muslim man, having problems working it out. He let's say he was screwing up. He had some tough times. Even those Muslim parents don't want to admit that their kids are not succeeding. So yeah, I was like, "Hey, how's your boy?" And he looked at me and he goes, "Well, he's gonna put, he'll put together, He said, "Inshallah," and then he went like this, you know. I was like, "I don't know." He goes, "Inshallah," you know. He made me feel like he'd already talked to Allah. Allah gave him the response. He didn't like the response. He went back Like, are you sure? You know. And I think sometimes you have to think about that, man. Success and failure and things like that, they're all part of a whole. So I want to wrap up. Wow, because that time really went quickly. We have some special announcements. Tomorrow, brothers and sisters, will be the last class for our inaugural Funny Right Now comedy writing series. And I want to give a shout out to these young students, old students, dedicated students, a very, very talented crop of potential writers, because they came into a situation wanting to learn the craft and the foundation of writing. And this is why this class is really, really important. For all the things that we're doing, for all the things that we are experiencing, if you will, in every successful protest movement, in every successful movement, if you will, there has to be an artistic class that can make the call to action. They can respond to the call to action, whether it's stand up, whether it's writing, whether it's music. And one of the things we haven't really seen in this last little period of 4 or 5 months, we haven't had seen that. And I took it upon myself and my team with Tony Whitfield that we're going to go ahead and give that to them. And by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it has really been transcendent in terms of watching people grow. And it's not so much watching people grow, it's investing in them and watching how they grow. We don't make them grow. We invest and we watch how they grow. And I want to give them a salute, if you will. Our last class is tomorrow. And I'm going to ask everybody here on the show, make sure we make the watch for them. We're going to be starting another class and a bigger announcement. I'm going to be teaching a stand-up class for Muslims. You heard it here first. Stand-up class for Muslims. Preacher Moss's Muslim Stand-Up 101. That's what we're going to call it. Preacher Moss's Muslim Stand-Up 101 class. And we will talk about the aspects of stand-up, but we're going to give it two ways. Number one, we're going to give it into the aspect of being a comedian. Number two, we're going to give it to the aspect of enhancing being a comedian by being able to incorporate and execute in the space of your own religious beliefs. And I believe people need to understand that Muslim comedians are not hamstrung by their religion. Do not believe that. They're not hamstrung by their religion. They are enhanced by their religion. But when you get into a space whereby you lend authority to other wrong things, you lend your credibility to other things, and I hate to say it, you will question your faith because people don't understand your faith or don't like your faith or question it before you even get there. I've been described as too old, too black, and too Muslim as a comedian. Too old, too black, and too Muslim and what it means is too old for some folks mean that I've been around a while. I'm really wise. I know the game. Too black means that I'm a community guy. I understand America in a very, very unique way. And too Muslim in the business, the entertainment business, there's some people who are not Muslim that don't want to see Muslims shine. So we're going to go ahead and move all of that out of the way. So we're going to revamp our comedy writing class. Again, salute to everybody in that class. And we're going to introduce Preacher Moss's Muslim Stand-Up 101. And we hope that even if you're not in the program, we hope that you make the dua for us. And, you celebrate and you encourage people. They might even be in our class, but if you see a little bit of their talent, a little potential, just put a little water on it. You don't know where it's going to go, but put a little water on it. All right? So let me get ready to get out of here. And I want to give a shout out to everybody coming on the show. I want to give a shout out to that brother earlier today that was pulling those cars with those house road belts. You don't know how hard I laughed, brother. I wanted to help you, but I couldn't get out of the car because I kept thinking that somewhere, someplace, probably in a hotel, 3 or 4 house coats, robes were missing the belts. All part of you. So, all right, man. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate it. Brother Muhammad, peace, man. Yeah, I'm positive old black man. Yeah, there you go. But you kept old in. I saw that. You slick. So you might want to be in the comedy class. So, brothers, this is Friday's Funny. Friday Funnies will preach. And you know what we do? We ask everybody, if you don't mind, to please get people to subscribe. We're trying to get to 100. I think I'm just going to go on Instagram and ask people to subscribe just to do it, just so we have it. So listen, I want everybody to have a great weekend. Special shout out to Mama Whitfield. I'm going to give you a shout out. No shout out to Satana. Make sure, because Satana wears Crocs, people. And I'm just not with that. Crocs are from the devil after a certain age. So in any event, I had a good weekend. I hope you're going to have a great weekend. See you guys tomorrow. Shout outs. Remember, hug somebody, love somebody. It's Preacher Moss of the Shout Out Show. Talk to you soon. Hey everybody, this is your brother Preacher Moss. Listen, I hope that you enjoyed your Shout Out Show experience. We'll be back with the next show, the next Shout Out Show. A simple ask before you go, please help your brother out. Click that subscribe button, click that notify button, and I'll see you again on this side of the microphone. You probably wonder what that smell is. That's me. I smell good. And the reason I smell good is because I use oils from Tarifa Tar. So I'm not saying you can't smell good. I'm not even saying you stink. I'm saying you have the opportunity to smell exquisite. Check out tarifatar.com for some of the best oils and scents in town.